Okay, so welcome to module 3, where we're going to be creating the detail page from the Nike.com website. So far, we've created the home page and we've created the category page. So let's dive into the detail page and see what is actually on the page and how it's laid out in order to figure out how to build it. So when we take a look at this page, you'll see at the top we've got our reusable header, some image shots of the product. This is of the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 37 Flyease. Cool name. And then you've got a variant selector. So if you choose this, the images will change and so forth. And right below is the size selection, and then call to actions to add to a bag and add to your favorites. Bit of description, product description, more product details, which is like an overlay, a nice little pop-up to zoom out so you can see how it's structured. Okay, so it's got a thumbnail, some description about the product, and you can dismiss it. Okay, cool. Let's zoom in again. And then down here we have an accordion for size and fit, the free delivery and returns, a reviews section. So if I was to say more, I would see more. If I hit less, so it's an accordion within an accordion, and if I hit more reviews, there's a full screen takeover to see other reviews. Okay, so towards the bottom, after the product shots, is a bit of social media post, and then a product carousel like the ones we have built for the homepage and category page, and lastly the footer. In this module, I'm going to be introducing you to more advanced features that Axure RP has, like global variables and the use of if-else statements. So let's get stuck in. So if you fire up your Axure RP, let's create a new page. Let's call it product detail. Cool. And let's go back to the men's category and let's just grab this boundary container. I'm going to paste that in here, and we're going to need our header. Cool. So back on product details, just drag the header 1 to the top. Cool. We'll put in the footer later on. And what we'll also need, if we take a look at this, is we're going to need a couple of image blocks. So to do that, I'm just going to grab one of these. Pick one of these. The product detail, paste. And what you'll notice is the actual website is, the width of the website is almost split into 3 parts, right? A 3-column grid. And so our images have to fit a 3-column grid. So let me just create one like that, Alt, then bring it in, and that's about a 3-column grid. We'll take out that last part. I need these to be this tall, maybe about that size. That should be fine. Bring it in a little bit more. Okay, So if you want specific, maybe 326 by 403. Cool. And Alt drag, just make a copy of it. There we go. And if I select these two, I'm going to Alt drag and create the second row, Alt drag and create the third row. Cool, and that should be enough. Yeah. I'm happy with 6 images. Bring them up. Yep, so about there. Not too worried about the header. Right now it's lying behind the content. We're gonna make sure to bring it to the foreground after we're done with all the content. So zoom in, need a bit of text for this. And running show. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to create some generic placeholders for the category and the price and the name of the actual product, so that we can dynamically allocate the name when we select a product from anywhere from the website. So I'm going to create some placeholders for now. So the first thing, I want to get some labels. And this label is going to be called category. So that's the product category. And then we need another one for the price. What I'm going to do is actually put in, let's just make it 0 rands. I'm going to change up all the prices to dollars. So let's just do this for now. Put this somewhere about there, just in case the price is quite long. Let's bring this guy closer. Make sure it's left aligned, which it is. And then I'm going to just make this text box a bit larger. Let's push this out a bit more. And bring this out a bit more, just to accommodate more characters. And we need a product title. Placeholder. We're going to change the size to about size 30. Oh, okay, I haven't selected everything. Let's select everything first, and then press 30, and let's make it bold. Okay, cool. And we're going to make it just a bit larger in case it wraps, and we're going to take it to the end so it's that big, so it's going to have 2 lines. So far so good. And then we have a product selector here. Let's just use this gray. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to make the size 68 width-wise and 60. Yeah, let's keep it almost like a square, 68 by 68. And we're going to introduce, yeah, it's got like a rounded corner. So let's make this about 5. Cool. Then from about here, go and duplicate it. 1, 2, 3. There are 4. Yeah. Only let's do second row as well. first let's kind of space them out, 2, 3, and horizontally distribute them, and duplicate this too. Let's shift, select, alt, drag, and position it about there. We've got these 2 rows. So far so good. And what I also want is a selection area. I'll just select this text, alt drag, press shift, just make sure it aligns with this. And type in select size. I'm going to name this placeholder product cat. It's the product category. This should be the price, and this is the product title. Okay, so far so good. I need a size guide on the one side. Cool. And then you need these buttons here. So I'm just gonna copy from these boxes, drag them out a little bit more, alt drag, okay, select, horizontally distribute, and then let's just bring them in, so something like that. They also have a rounded corner, so that's cool. So we're going to do what we had. It doesn't have a fill. Nice. So we're going to take that and make that transparent. But it does have a border. So we're going to select our gray color. In this case, D7, D7, D7. Okay. And then there's a bit of text. Okay, F5, UK6, enter UK6, EU. Nice. So whenever you make a mistake, you can always Command Z or Control Z. To redo, you just press Command Shift Z. It should be the same for PC, Control Shift Z. The last one is EU6, UK6, EU36. Number 40. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so what I'm going to do as well is just make sure I'm going to make the fill white, and then I'm going to add some styling effects for mouse over. So mouse over, you can see the border goes black, the line color. Mouse over, we're going to make it black. You can see it from the preview, say OK. And secondly, when you select, that's the selection state. Cool. So if we right click again, style effects, selected, the line color should go black. And when it's disabled, we have a fill, which is like a gray, right? And the font style, the font color is like a light gray, something like that. Cool. It's a disabled state. And that's our selected state, and that's our mouse over state. Say OK. Now what I'm going to do is duplicate this, Alt, drag 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to create 3 rows for now. You can always align them later on. And then this is UK 65. There we go, cool. What we need to do as well is to now disable this button. So right click and select disabled. And right click on the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right click and select disabled. And that will apply the styling effect to all those buttons. Cool. And then another thing that we want to do is to make sure that when we select on any of those buttons, the other buttons become automatically unselected. The way you go about doing that in Axure RP is by selecting all of them, right click and creating a selection group. And we're going to give it a name. In this case it's the size group. Say OK. And we're going to do the same for this top part. So select all these images, right click, create a styling effect. When you mouse over, there is a border, so we're going to go to line, color, make it black, say OK, right click, create a selection group, and we're going to call this, it's got different style, right? It's like a color, it's a different color, so I'll call it like a color group. Say OK. And by default, the first one is selected, so that guy is going to be selected. Cool. And actually need to select everything again, right click, go to selection effects, make sure there's a selection state, which essentially is just the line color, big black, for the border. And there we go, cool. So if I was to preview this, this is what we have so far. So if I mouse over, there's the mouse over effect. If I was to select something, it's not working yet, that's fine. And then for our size group, this is how it looks, the disabled parts. Okay, so let's move on to actually adding the selection state. So if we select all of these, actually let's select one at a time, and then we go to interactions tab, new interaction, on click, we want to set the selected state for this particular widget. You just say OK. And then what we're going to do is to copy, so select this interaction, Command C to copy, and then you're gonna go through the rest and Control V to paste. This one, paste, this one, paste, this one to paste, and this last one to paste. And let's preview this and I'll show you what exactly I have just done. So this is the mouse over states. If I was to select any one of these, change the state and selects the other one because it's in a group, and the click action is making whatever is clicked selected, is moving whatever is selected or clicked on into the selector state. We're going to do the same for the size group. Fortunately, in this case, there are only 4 which are active, so and paste. Let's just preview how it changes. Select, select. Awesome, it's working.